I also got a magical mask. You can do whatever you want as long as you wear it, because this mask can not only change your body shape, it can even change your life. I used this mask to wash away these high-ranking cultivators countless times. But my growth experience was very difficult. I lost my parents when I was a kid and was left wandering around. I accidentally ran into a rich second-generation heir when I was praying once. He was going to cut off my hands, but when I resisted, I ended up killing him. Not long after, I was caught by the government and sentenced to beheading. Just when I was about to be executed, a group of bandits saved me. They also brought me to their mountain village and raised me. Although they were bandits, they did justice. I thought I would be a bandit for the rest of my life. But it all changed completely when I was 10 years old. In that year, the people did not receive grain, but the court still forced them to hand over food. If you couldn't hand it over, they would kill the innocent. For such a thing, we definitely couldn't stand it. I led my brothers to kill those officers and soldiers and got the first warrant in my life. But on the day we were drinking and celebrating, a cultivator killed more than 300 people in our village. And the reason he did all this makes people feel even more helpless. He said he didn't care who we were. He just followed the rule of the weak and the strong. Fortunately, I swore I would get revenge. In order to become stronger, I came to the famous Taoist gate of Qingyun Gate. It is said that Qingyun Gate has been passed down in Chuyu for 3,000 years. Its respected status is deep, and there are countless masters in the sect. But when I first arrived at Qingyun Gate, I was kicked out. The fat man at the door said, "You don't have a recommendation, there is no treasure, and you have no rare system. You are a waste." My backhand is an international friendly gesture. The angry fat man chased after me. However, the fat man was too big and was so tired that he was out of breath. I was so proud. The fat man pointed his finger at me and shouted, "If there is a Taoist friend who can help me take this kid, let him sign up first." The sound of his words just fell, and the people around me came at me like they didn't want to die. Fortunately, I was small and quickly slipped out of the crowd. But at this time, my foot was caught by a hand, which lifted me up. The fat man dragged his fist over, and he was going to teach me a lesson. A little figure ran over, running and shouting, "Let go of my young master!" Her name is Shaman. She's the little maid I bought on my way here. Shaman stretched out her hand and blocked the fat man. The fat man was also a little confused by the scene in front of him. However, the man in yellow clothes holding me was not in such a good mood. He kicked Shaman out with one foot. Shaman hit a tree and blood flowed in an instant. The next second, countless teeth came out of the blood. Seeing this, the people around were surprised. The fat man screamed directly, "Woodland split!" It turns out that Shaman has a rare blood that Taoists fight for. This is an extremely valuable treasure. After the man in yellow checked the blood on the ground, he hugged Shaman and planned to leave. The confused Shaman was still saying, "Don't hit my young master." I dared to escape from the hands of the man in yellow clothes and shouted that let him let go of Shaman. The girl didn't throw a bottle of elixir out of her mouth. From now on, she is no longer your maid. I took the bottle and said, "I don't want any elixir, unless you put me in Qingyun Gate." The girl turned around, looked at me, and said yes. Then she flew away with the crane. The fat man brought me to a small tomb, gave me a set of entry skills, and let me take care of the Zongmen pharmacy here. He also said that if you want to become a formal disciple, you must reach the spiritual level. After that, the fat man left in a good mood. But I practiced for a night and couldn't feel the existence of true Qi. I was wondering, is it really not a cultivation? I suddenly remembered the secret book left to me before I died. I don't know if this Yin-Yang Demon Sword is useful for cultivation. Just as I turned over the first page, the book in my hand suddenly flashed a strong golden light.
Countless golden lights came to my mind in an instant. The previous gray, hard-to-understand Qingyun Demon was also understood. Before I could study, all the golden light faced me. At this moment, I finally sensed the sense of Qi. Just when I was still trying to sense it, a drop of water awakened me. At this time, I found that I was already hovering in the air. I looked down at both hands. That Yin-Yang Demon Sword had flown away, as if it went straight into my head. Just when I was still thinking, the ID card in my arms fell out. I reached out to pick up the stone, but one foot stepped on it. I looked up confused, but was pulled by a hand. He told me he was the boss here. He told me to go east, I can't go west. He told me to catch insects, I can't kick. I just sensed the sense of Qi and still need time to practice. It's better not to start a conflict now. I dared to say it with a pitiful look. Don't hit me, everyone. I'll do whatever you tell me to do. A few people saw that I was a loser and laughed proudly, then threw me out. From then on, I was not just filling the straw, I was washing their stinky socks and had to pick up the water. After all the work was done, they gave me a bowl of porridge. I didn't have time to practice at all. That night, after seeing a few people sleep, I knew it was time to get my revenge. I took out my short knife, and behind a guy at the head, a knife went down. The scream of killing like a pig came out. This knife was just a lesson. I didn't hit hard. This guy thought I could get him by a sneak attack and was going to fight back. When he stood up, I released my powerful spirit energy directly, then stepped aside to avoid his punch, then stepped on his back and the knife went towards his chrysanthemum. In addition, the other 3 people covered their own chrysanthemums, shaking in the corner. I wiped the blood on the knife clean, turned around and said to the other people, "I'm sorry, the movement was a bit big. I woke up all the brothers." Those people knelt down and begged for mercy. So the atmosphere of the medicine field changed the next day. I was resting alone in the pavilion while the other brothers were suffering in the medicine field. The fat man who came to inspect was directly stunned. He asked a few people and knew that I had cultivated spirit energy. The fat man's face was unrecognizable. After a while of silence, the fat man smiled and led a few people towards my room. Soon he kicked open my door and shouted, "The bold Farn actually picked up the spirit medicine. Now people are dirty and sick. What else do you have to say?" He said this as he threw a basket of medicine under my feet. I could tell at a glance that the fat man was here to deliberately frame me. I have spirit energy now, but I won't be manipulated like before. I was lucky to go to the fat man. The fat man didn't expect me to be so brazen. In a trance, he put the wooden sword in front of him. But he underestimated my strength. I kicked the wooden sword in his hand, and his body moved back a few meters to remove the force. The fat man knew that my strength was no longer under his own. I hurried back to avoid hurting the innocent, then shouted. The spirit energy was released to form a few long swords. The next second, the long swords came towards me, then formed a sword array to trap me. I couldn't break the sword array even if I used my whole body. The fat man proudly said, "As long as you cow down to me and call me grandpa respectfully again, I'll spare your life." Listening to him, I was furious. "Fat pig, you dream." The fat man heard this, and at the back of his finger, the long swords were also rising from the air. I hurriedly dodged the longsword coming from the palace. Who knew that a longsword was coming from the front? In the moment when the longsword was about to pierce my eyes, a golden light broke out. The next second, I saw that I had grabbed the flying longsword with my bare hands. I just had to burn my meridians to resist the sword array. But the spirit energy in my body didn't burn out. Instead, it increased. It seems that at this moment, I managed to break through to the Lindong range. The fat man who reacted knew it was not good and just wanted to pull away. But how could I give him this chance? I rushed up and covered his fat face with a punch and knocked him over. After this battle, I also successfully established my position. I knew the fat man didn't kill me, so I let him go. The fat man was convinced of me. He also said that he had never seen such a fast breakthrough to Lindong. He told me that a new disciple who reached Lindong just had to knock on the Qingxing bell to be promoted to an outer disciple of Qingyun Gate. I put my hand on the Qingyun bell. With a little luck, the whole Qingyun Gate sounded a gentle bell. Then I went to the gate. In a while, the fat man took me to the magic instrument gallery. He told me that after outer disciples are promoted, you have to choose a suitable magic instrument first, and there's only one chance. Looking at the magic instruments in the gallery, I was in trouble. I can't tell the good from the bad. But when I passed 3 flying swords, a sound suddenly came to my mind. Zitong Flying Sword. The name of the 3 magic arrays has been damaged. I turned around, looked at the other magic instruments. It was all like this. Is it possible that the Yin-Yang Demon Sword in my body has the ability to appraise items? Not only that, you can also see the cultivation of people. I looked around and found that these magic instruments are either limited by the spirit,
The instrument itself is damaged. At this time, a strange mask came into sight. This is an intermediate transformation magic instrument, and all 36 of its magic arrays are perfect. 36 magic arrays represent that it can become 36 different types. I rely on this. This is simply a necessary tool for killing and abduction. I chose the mask. A few seniors who managed the place were all laughing. I didn't care about these serious things and followed the fat man to the place where I would live. He also gave me a spirit stone and a book called Qingyun Alchemy. Then I said goodbye to the fat man and came to this new home. I opened the skill book and took a look. I took out the spirit stone and planned to practice it. When I opened my eyes again, it was already night. With the blessing of the spirit stone, the speed of cultivation is much faster. It's a pity that this thing is a consumable. I didn't practice it for less than a day. Then I found the fat man and asked for a place where I could get spirit stones quickly. That is the ghost market in the bamboo forest of the valley. The ghost market is the underground trading market of Qingyunmin. People who participate will dress up. All ghost market transactions only ask the price. Don't ask where it's from, and don't ask each other's identity. The ghost market was made for me. The next day I took the Wenlo ghost face mask, turned into a tall body, and came to the ghost market. I also brought the firework that Uncle Ivy gave me. As long as it works, it can let people sleep for at least 2 hours. The only difficulty is that there are too many people here, and they are too dispersed. I was still thinking about how to do it when a person in the center attracted everyone's attention. He took out a bag of spirit stones and sold it out in no time. One of the people walked out. I only saw him shake his wrist, and from the jade ring on his finger, he drew a long sword. This sword is a medium-range magic weapon, the Jiyu Shi Jin Yen sword. It was bought by him when he just entered the sect. Now he offers 100 spirit stones. Everyone knows that they can't afford it. I think it's about time. I walked out of the crowd with a bag and said, I have a magic weapon here that is not inferior to this sword. I don't know if my brother is interested. Then I took out the yen lake sent by Uncle Ivy. The senior brother came close but couldn't see anything strange. I told them, this magic weapon is in a small place. If you don't look carefully, you can't see it. Everyone slowly surrounded me. But at this time, a stream of white smoke spread in the lake. Anyone who smelled the smoke fainted on the ground. After seeing everyone fall, I sighed indifferently. These disciples are too careless. Then I helped them see what kind of treasures they brought. Back at the residence, I checked today's products. These people are really rich. Since the spirit stone is in place, let's start training. Soon, 3 months passed. The stolen spirit stone was also exhausted, but my cultivation was still hovering at the top of the Lindong realm. It takes time to go to the ghost market again. At this time, Fatty found me. It turns out that today is the 3-month temporary release of spirit stones. Although there is only one, every little bit helps. I followed Fatty for a long time. It was finally my turn. But the strange thing is, the elder who managed the place told me, young people, don't go the wrong way. Put more energy on cultivation. Does he know that I robbed the ghost market? I don't care. I won't admit it if he asks me. On the way back, the 2 of us were stopped by a burly man. Fatty quickly put his hands on the spirit stone he just got, then looked at me. Fatty came forward and wanted to say something nice, but was kicked by that person. I quickly took out my spirit stone and put my hands on it. Just when he reached out, I shook my hands gently, and the spirit stone fell to the ground.
I was in a hurry to bend my waist to pick it up and snuck out the short knife with me, taking the opportunity to stab him in the back. Then I kicked him away. He never thought I would be so bold. I can't figure it out either. With this ability, how dare you come out and be a robber? Back at the residence, I started training again. After consuming the remaining 2 spirit stones in my hand, I finally broke through to the next level of Lindong realm. I took out the 9-tongue gold sand sword I got from the ghost market last time and put spirit energy into it. The moment I saw the body, I stepped on it. The 9-headed snake emerged from it. It looked fierce and scared me to take back my spirit energy. With my current strength, it's still very difficult to control him. It seems that I still have to find a way to improve my cultivation. So I decided to go to the ghost market again. After the robbery last time, the ghost market has been strengthened, but these are not difficult for me. I put on the ghost mask of Wenlo and turned into a girl. After showing my sincerity, the guards at the door still let me in. As soon as I came in, I saw a little brother at a stall, so I took a look. When the little brother was about to recommend a sword to me, I asked, "Do you have this treasure?" Because I found that in his stall, not only did he give up the treasure, there were even a lot of snacks. Although the things on the stall are very realistic, none of them are real. If I didn't have the Yin and Yang magic sword, I would have been fooled. I then told him, "You are really bold, daring to sell fake goods in the ghost market." The little brother was cold and sweaty for a moment and hurried to admit his mistake. "I dare not do it next time." I didn't mean to make trouble, but I took a fancy to his fake craft. I used this to threaten him to promise to do something for me, otherwise I would report him for faking. The little brother could only nod his head and agree. This time, I was attracted by another crowd. I only saw a group of people doing something. There was a purple elixir in front of them. I saw that it was a demon spirit elixir. One of this elixir can resist 100 pieces of spirit stones. It turns out that this person wants to use the demon spirit elixir to exchange for 10 gold umbrellas. Only this item cannot be sold. 10 gold umbrellas are a must-have raw material for crafting a broken street order. It is extremely difficult for cultivators to break through every stop. If you have a broken street order at this time, you will save half your work. I looked carefully at the Taoist in front of me. I'm sure this is the one who hurt Shaman in front of the gate. His name is Ho King. I immediately went up and whispered a few words in his ear, then turned around and left. Ho King hurried to chase up, then asked me if I had 10 gold umbrellas. I led Ho King to a secret place. After a while, I successfully raised the price to 4 demon spirit elixirs in exchange for 10 gold umbrellas. Ho King, who desperately wanted to enter the street realm, could only nod his head and agree. After everything was settled, I went back to the ghost market again. Because I'm sure I don't have 10 gold umbrellas, I can only come to this fake-making little brother. After all, this kid owes me a favor. The next day, I pretended to be a running little brother and came to the forger's place. This guy still wants to find out where I live, but after I gave him the slip, he eventually gave up. The forger threw me on the ground and took out the envelope I sent him. He was a little surprised. When he turned around to look at me, I had already understood the big picture. Fortunately, when I came here again 9 days later, the little brother also handed me the fake 10 gold umbrellas he had made on time. I threw out a bag of gold coins to him, turned around, and came to the bamboo grove where I made an appointment with Ho King. I didn't expect Ho King to be so shameless. He still wanted to betray the deal. I calmly took out the 10 gold umbrellas, then said, "Ho King, you really think I don't know your identity?" I didn't expect Ho King to be so impatient. His sword came at me in a hurry. I was going to fight back, but the sword touched my finger and was taken back by Ho King. After I threatened him a few words, Ho King still didn't want to let go of his guard. Then I had to add some fuel to the fire. I took out the 9-tongued gold sand sword from my storage room. For a moment, the 9 demon swords on the sword rose in the wind, which put Ho King in a cold sweat. He was in a hurry to take his magic weapon, bowed down, and apologized to me. I told him not to mess around and to hurry up and trade. I threw the 10 gold umbrellas to him. Ho King took them in his hand and was in a hurry to open them. Looking at the shining 10 gold umbrellas, Ho King was also in a hurry to give me the spirit pills. When the spirit pills arrived, I immediately ran away. After seeing me go, Ho-King was also relieved. He was lucky that he didn't attack just now. Thinking of the 9 demon swords in that sword was a setback. The more he thought about it, the more he felt wrong. That sword looked a little familiar. Isn't that the sword that was stolen at the ghost market? He quickly checked his own 10 gold umbrellas. They were still shining in his hand. But how did they fall? Then I heard a roar in the bamboo forest. "Bastard robber, I'm going to kill you." I didn't hear his roar because I had returned to my residence. These 3-level spirit pills are made of 3 demon beasts. One can hold 100 spirit stones. But I just took the spirit pill and made a mistake. This thing should be about the same as a normal pill. I tried it and just swallowed it. I then remembered the reminder of the Yin-Yang magic sword. Do not swallow the spirit pill directly. Otherwise, the spirit energy is difficult to control and harm the barmy. I couldn't believe I didn't see that earlier. I wanted to spit out the spirit pill, but it was too late. The spirit energy of the spirit pill started to sink into my limbs. I felt like my whole body was full of spirit energy, as if it was going to explode at any time. I didn't hold on for long. I fainted in a blink of an eye. Just at this time, the mysterious 9-mouthed vortex in the sky suddenly reacted. One of them flew out from the team directly, turning into a red light and flying straight down.